Welcome back in episode 104 of the Sports Information Podcast with me, the Sports Information Director, your host, Hop Hopkins. And tonight, as always, we've got the previous week's recap. So a Week 7 recap will be first. And then we've got our Week 8 predictions, followed by yet another A-plus player of the week and 2 must-see TV games. And then, you guessed it, your favorite phantom voice, the sports information producer himself with the questions. And before that, though, before we jump into the show, quick teaser of what's to come and what missed the cut on tonight's show. NBA opening night was last night. Awesome as it was. Happy as I am that the NBA is back. Ecstatic as I am that the Pacers are playing right this second as I'm recording. We're not talking about it. Sorry. And then NHL Frozen Frenzy Day. All 32 teams in action same day as NBA opening night. I mean, what do you want me to say? It was a dumb idea, Gary Bateman. Just Bettman, whatever your name is. I don't know. He's the commissioner of the NHL. Anyway, on with the show, and we'll kick it off with a quick shout-out to the men's and women's soccer teams here at Hanover College. Last week, they played conference opponent Berea, and let's just say Berea sent both their soccer teams here to get beat by a combined 15-0. The women won 10-0, and the men won 5-0. Good day to be a Panther. We're so sick. Time for the A block. Week 7 recap. I mean, guys, I don't know what you want me to do at this point other than keep giving you the same picks that I've been giving you. Because through 2 weeks now, I'm 27-2. It's pretty unreal. We missed the Thursday night football game from last week. We said Saints over the Broncos, and it didn't work out. Broncos have a really good defense. So they're not a bad football team. Okay, I gotta fall on that sword. I was wrong. I said the Saints beat bad football teams. That wasn't wrong. That's true this year so far. Go look at who they've beat. They're bad football teams. The Broncos aren't a bad football team, though. That's where I was wrong. So that's my bad. Patriots-Jaguars. Haha, I called it. The Jags over the Patriots. The Pats. Yeah, good one. Vikings-Lions. Lions were dogs this game. Picked them. Were they dogs? I don't know. I might have misspoke there. Feels like they were because the Vikings were undefeated until they were not. And then the Bills beat the Titans. Called that one from a mile away. I know the Colts were moneyline dogs here to open up at least. And they won, and I picked them against the Dolphins at home. Thank you. In Indy, I said Shane Steichen's not going to lose that game. Anthony Richardson suited up, though. That wasn't on the bingo card for me. And then he did. So that helped us win for sure. Seahawks beat the Falcons. That was a game I got wrong. I said the Falcons were going to go win that game. I said, Kirk at home. He's looked good in big moments. This game feels like a game you need to win. It's an NFC matchup. The Seahawks buzzing, and they ran right through the Falcons, beat them by 20 points. Texans at Packers. I called it. Packers to win. Now, was it sweaty? Absolutely. Did it take a last-second field goal, walk-off field goal? Absolutely it did. But did they get it done? They did. Go Cheeseheads. Bengals at Browns. Yeah, we saw it. Mile away. Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. It wasn't a really pretty game, I would say. But Eagles clear the Giants in New York 28-3. Knew it. Raiders over Rams. Raiders at Rams. I say over because they're on top on the screen. Raiders over... Jesus, I did it again. Raiders at Rams. Rams over Raiders. 20-15 victory for Matt Stafford and the Rams. Called that. Panthers at Commanders. I mean, Jaden Daniels went down in the first half, and the Commanders still hung 40 on him with Marcus Mariota. Now, with that said, real quick, side note, I think Nick Wright said this on TV today, made a good point. Maybe it was yesterday. If the Commanders have a stretch of, 5-6 games here without Jaden Daniels, because he's a scrawny guy with a rib injury, so who knows how long that could take. But if the Commanders are able to find the same amount of success or 80% of the same success with Marcus Mariota that they found with Jaden Daniels, it'll make you question what we've been seeing out of Jaden Daniels. And that's coming from a guy who just said, last week and the week before, actually, that Jaden Daniels should be in the MVP conversation. So if Marcus Mariota, a quarterback that we know isn't good, steps into a system and plays good, makes you question the success of everyone else in that system, right? Makes you question how much of it was them and how much of it was the system. Just a thought, some food for thought, mull it over. Chiefs at Niners. Chiefs moneyline dogs somehow. Don't get it. Picked them. They won. Jets at Steelers. Steelers were dogs. Everybody was laughing at me. Oh, you think Mike Tomlin starting Russell Wilson's going to beat the Jets? Yep, sure do. Jets are a bad football team. Aaron Rodgers no longer a good quarterback. Next, Ravens at Bucks. Oh, Lamar, you're unreal, dude. He could maybe win a third MVP this year. He's playing like it, man. 41-31, Ravens over Bucks. Great pick by me. And then the final dog of the week, baby. Chargers at Cardinals. Cardinals pull out the win thanks to a game-winning Kyler Murray drive. Kid's got 12 game-winning drives in his career now. Love to see it. Love to see it. It was big for the fantasy team this week, too. Almost pulled out the win, but didn't. But, hey, fantasy football is fun. Like I said, 27-2 since we started doing these picks in Week 6. Reminder, I went 14-0 in Week 6. Guys, listen to me, okay? I know ball a little bit. I understand who's going to win football games. I look at this stuff day in and day out. I study it so you don't have to. Just tune into the podcast and thank me later, okay? We're going to jump into Week 8 now. Predictions, winners, A-plus player of the week, and 2 must-see TV games. You know the drill. Thursday Night Football tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Vikings at Rams. Give me the Vikings. Cooper Kupp will be playing tomorrow for the Rams. It did just get announced today that the Rams are open to trading him, so I would expect a big game from Cooper Kupp tomorrow, just because they're going to want to, make him look pretty for the buyers. But it won't be big enough, won't be big enough as Sam Darnold and the Vikings and Jay Jettas are going to roll the Rams in my predictions. Packers at Jags. You can make me say it. Packers. Cardinals at Dolphins. I saw a thing today that Tyreek said to all fantasy managers. We're putting the band back together or something. I don't know if that means Tua's playing this week or what, but start me. I got you. I'm back, baby. Give me the dark horse Cardinals again, 2 weeks in a row. In Miami, let's go. Feels like a Kyler Murray day. Now, actually, hold on. Before I commit to that, let's learn from last week's mistakes real quick, because we did the research. That might have been with a heart pick. Let me talk myself through this. Last week when we did the research, everything on paper told us not to pick the Falcons over the Seahawks. And I went with it because I said, it feels like a must-win game for the Falcons. It feels like a big Kirk Cousins moment. It feels like Kirk and the passing game are starting to click. It feels like the Cardinals have been getting a little lucky lately with some of these wins. And, just brutalized in a lot of their losses, like when they lost to the Packers a couple weeks ago. And then week before that, they beat the 49ers. So, I don't know. And the Cardinals are a dark horse team, like I said. Yeah. Give me Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's go, Arizona. Jets, Patriots. The reason I say the research, but let me backtrack. The reason I say there's hesitation there is because the Cardinals do have the best pass defense in the league, probably. But give me the Cardinals. Jets at Patriots. Okay. Jets are not a good football team. Aaron Rodgers is not a good football player. Not a good quarterback anymore. They're going to beat the Patriots, though. Okay? I don't know if it's going to be a 120-yard, 8-catch, 2-touchdown game for Devontae Adams or anything, but the Jets are going to find a way to win that football game in New England. That's a big piece of it, in New England, because the Patriots are just in shambles this year. Ravens at Browns. Give me Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, dude. The birds are flying this year. Derrick Henry scoring touchdowns every single week. Give me the Ravens. Eagles in Cincy. This might be the toughest game of the week to pick right here. Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, just looking at the rest of the schedule real quick, I would say so. Give me the Bengals, though. I think Joe Burrow and the gang are going to figure it out in Cincinnati at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Jalen Hurts actually played probably his best game of football in the last calendar year last week. If we just open this up real quick, 10 for 14, 114 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of yardage there, but very, very efficient. And, 7 rushes for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he picked and chose his spots and made it count last week. I just don't know if the Eagles defense is actually going to be able to stop the Bengals. Not that I think the Bengals defense will be able to stop the Eagles, but the Eagles seem to stop themselves enough. And I know that Bengals offense can go put up 40 points. They did it to the Ravens. So not to say that the Eagles defense is as bad as the Ravens, but I think the Bengals are just that good. And they roll when they're at home. So give me Burrow and the Bengals. Colts at Texans. This is an easy one. Give me C.J. Stroud and the Texans. It pains me to say, but they own the division, and they're going to beat the Colts. Titans at Lions. Not close. Lions. Falcons at Bucks. This game was going to be fun. Now it's not. Chris Godwin out. Snapped his ankle. Mike Evans out. Who knows how long. Hamstring. Those things nag and last forever. Give me the Falcons. Give me the Falcons. Saints at Chargers. Guys, I think what we saw in weeks 1 and 2 with the Saints is, what's the word? It's like French or a fluke, okay? So stop saying the Saints are good every week. Like, they've got a shot this week. Nope, Chargers. Thanks. Bills at Seahawks. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills. That game could be a shootout, but I think the Bills defense is going to find a way to stop that Seahawks offense. I don't think Geno Smith is that good, like the numbers are suggesting. He's leading the league in passing. Just been airing it out, and DK Metcalf has been having one of his best seasons in the last 3 or 4 years. So all that has played a role in the Seahawks' ability to go win those games. Plus, how hard has the Seahawks' schedule been this year? Seahawks games. Let's see. In week 1, they beat the Broncos, not hard. They beat the Patriots in week 2, not hard. They beat the Dolphins, not hard. The Lions, tough game. Giants, not hard. 49ers, tough game, and they lost. And then Falcons, not really tough. So they've had 2 tough games all year, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 just complete pumpkins that they've played. Complete cans of tomatoes. Yeah, give me the Bills there. Josh Allen's going to have another MVP-type game. I don't know if he's player of the week, though. Bears at Commanders. This was going to be great. We were going to get Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. Rookie quarterback versus rookie quarterback. Number 1 overall pick. I don't remember what Jaden Daniels was. Number 3, 4, something like that. It was going to be awesome. And now Jaden Daniels is out. And he's hurt. Why? Because he's frail. Because he's soft. And he weighs as much as me. And he's playing quarterback against freak athletes. Give me the Bears. Commanders' defense is abysmal. The Bears' defense is actually really good. And Marcus Mariota is a bad quarterback. Chiefs versus Raiders. At the Raiders. Chiefs, not close. Panthers at Broncos. Wow. That is not going to be fun to watch. Don't tune in. Absolute not must-see TV. That's like, if that's the only thing on TV, just go ahead and go for a walk, take a nap, do something else, do your laundry. Give me the Broncos, though. No way you guys lose that game. And if you do, I might go back on what I said about you not being a bad football team. Cowboys at Niners. So here's the deal. I've been thinking about this game since last week. And the Cowboys are a really bad football team. Not good this year. But something in me just keeps whispering in the back of my head Dak's going to have one of those games where he goes and wins. Dak's going to have one of those games where he goes for 412 yards and 4 touchdowns. he might have a pick, but it doesn't matter because CeeDee Lamb's going to have 2 touchdowns. Like, it just feels like one of those games where the Cowboys have no business winning it, and they're going to be in complete control the whole way. But I just logically, professionally, objectively, insert whatever word you want, I cannot pick the Cowboys in this situation, so give me the Niners, and God, I hate picking for Brock Purdy. Oh, that pains me so much. Giants at Steelers. Guys, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are going to be just so mean to the Giants. They're going to bully them all night long on Monday Night Football. It's going to be great. A-plus player of the week. Let's lock in for a second. Okay? Let's really think about this here. Could it be Patrick Mahomes? Because he hasn't had a good game yet. And he owns the Raiders. Now, Max Crosby loves getting after him. And he's been having a bad year. So could it be Patrick Mahomes? Maybe. Maybe. But I'm not picking Patrick Mahomes to be the A-plus player of the week. I'm just here to tell you it maybe could be. And so, like, you heard the maybe here first. So if it does happen, you can give me, like, 0.5 credit. They give half a sack to players when 2 people both make contact on the sack. So I made contact on the take. So give me half a sack, right? Give me a QB hit. I hit. We're at the blackjack table, and I hit red 15 just now. Let's go. I just mixed blackjack and roulette. Good God. Oh, it's been a long day. It's late. Did some soccer game today for the women. Tough one against Transy. We hate Transy. God, A-plus player of the week. I don't like the slate this week for that, guys. You know what? I said the Bengals are going to have a good week against the Eagles. Give me Joe Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow to go out and have just another baller passing game like he did against the Ravens, but minus the interception this week. He's not throwing a pick to the Eagles. He's going to have 2 or 3 touchdowns, 250-plus yards, a great passer rating. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but it's going to be great. And he's going to have 67% or higher completion percentage. Give me it. Must-see TV. Who we locking in on? The Vikings and the Rams has really good potential just because the Vikings could go off. The Packers could actually put up 50 on the Jags. But, guys, it's must-see every week when Lamar Jackson's on TV this year with Derrick Henry in the backfield. So go watch the Ravens at the Browns. You'll be so happy that you did because the Browns are very bad and the Ravens are just going to have a heyday. And then, honestly, I hate picking it because it just seems boring. Seems like not a fun one. It's definitely not a sexy pick out of all the games this week, but go watch Caleb Williams tear apart the Commanders' defense because I promise you he's going to. So go watch that. Those are my picks this week. Kind of boring. Kind of not fun. I know I don't have a ton of energy and gumption in my voice when I'm picking them, but, like, just go watch it. I know what I'm talking about, okay? 27-2. B block, producers' questions coming in hot, and then quick outro, quick reminder to like, subscribe, share. Let's hear them.
Okay, first off, DHop to the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think this changes, their offense? Do you think it opens up the playbooks, excuse me. Obviously with Mahomes not playing good, do you think this ignites the fire a little bit?
So, I still need to know when Hollywood Brown is looking to return.
I think it's playoffs at the earliest.
Hollywood Brown return date. I know it's not, anytime soon, as in the next couple weeks. Return timeline. Clearer picture of whether or not he could make a push to return in 2024. So it's still kind of in question if he could return this year. So DeAndre Hopkins is a massive pickup for the Chiefs, who just lost Rashee Rice to blown knee. a la Patrick Mahomes. What a just unfortunate play. But DeAndre Hopkins this year, 21 targets, 15 catches for 173 yards, but he's been playing in an abysmal Titans offense. And last year, he was in the same situation, 137 targets, 75 catches, 1,000 yards, 1,057 yards, 7 touchdowns. And it was the same deal. He was playing in a really bad Titans offense, who only had Will Levis in half the time. I believe it was Malik Willis the other half. I like it. 32 years old, so you got him for a 5th-round pick, right? You're not expecting him to come in and save your franchise and, be your number one receiver for years to come. You're hoping that Rashee Rice returns to normal next year and is back in the office business as usual. But this year, I think DeAndre Hopkins definitely helps you win a touchdown, gives you an edge in the passing game. And in a year where Kelsey's not being Kelsey and the connection between him and Mahomes there is struggling to get going, you can only hope that this just lightens the load on Kelsey and eases up some of the pressure that he's feeling maybe and helps draw some of the defenders away from his area, but also just gives Mahomes another reliable target, right? We've seen him make it work and win a touchdown in the past with guys like McCole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster, and hell, Kadarius Toney caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but that might have been his last catch ever. But DeAndre Hopkins, the league and fans of the league, those alike, thought Kareem Hunt didn't need a roster spot this year, and Chiefs picked him up when they got Nick Denag in the running back room, and look at what he's been doing. He's been a beast for him. They found ways to use him just fine, make him look like at least low-end RB1 this year, and I'm sure they can do the same with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins he has an all-time resume, just looking at his numbers here. From his second year in the league, he had 1,200 yards, 1,500 yards, then he dropped to 950, 1,300 yards, 1,500 yards, 1,100, 1,400. And that's all 76 catches, 111 catches, 78, 96, 115, 104, 115 again. And that's 11 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 11, 7, 6. DHop's an elite receiver when he's at his peak. If he can be 70% of what he was, in 2020 even, latter half, or his first year in Arizona with Kyler Murray, if he can be 70% of that, Mahomes will be able to win a touchdown with you, or win a Super Bowl with you, throwing plenty of touchdowns to you. So, DHop to the Chiefs, I like it. Great addition. And I like that they were able to get him for cheap. They didn't have to give up a lot. It's scary seeing a team like the Chiefs able to do things like this time after time, bring in weapons that'll help them get to where they need to be right now without sacrificing any future, whether it's draft capital or other superstars. They've just got everything going for them. Their front office is sharp. Their coaching staff is great. Their cornerstone dynasty pieces are great. They're just an awesome organization, unfortunately, for the rest of the league. So, yeah, DHop to the Chiefs. We like it.
Keeping it on the receiver train.
Okay.
Devontae Adams, the redemption tour, didn't have the fairy tale ending that everybody thought it would have in the first chapter. Do you think they can turn it around, reuniting with his BFF Aaron Rodgers, or has that ship already sailed?
So I don't think the ship has sailed. Let's be very clear. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is still that dude.
But does Devontae Adams fix what is, in your opinion, a bad football team?
No. And I said that last week. I said Devontae Adams does not fix all of the Jets' problems. Mostly because a good amount of those problems stem from the quarterback room, and Devontae Adams can't fix those. So, he alleviates some of the pressure that was Garrett Wilson getting doubled, tripled, locked up every game, having to rely so heavily on the run game because you can't get Aaron Rodgers to trust Mike Williams and throw to anyone but Alan Lazard, right? It opens things up in that regard that Aaron now is a little more comfortable passing to someone else. making other reads, right? Because he's got 3 receivers that he really trusts. Breece Hall's got 3 receivers that are out there, so they can't just stack the box against him. Like, okay, right, you're going to leave those 3 in single coverage? No way. So he fixes some of the offensive issues, and there's not a ton of defensive issues there, but it's just not. No, it's not enough. It's not enough.
On to the next.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the Panthers for a second.
Let's do it.
I mean, you bench Bryce Young. I mean, you bring in Andy Dalton.
Uh-huh.
Oh, excuse me. Gets you 1 win. I mean, nothing but crickets since, right?
Yeah,
Bryce Young's starting this week. Like, what do you do?
The Red Rocket Renaissance did not last long. That was a segment we were going to try. I think we tried it on, like trial episode 2 or something. But, yeah, the Panthers, ever since their 36-22 win over the Raiders, maybe that's why Davante Adams left. He was like, bro, we're losing to the Panthers. I'm out. I mean, if you're the Panthers, man, there's not a lot you can do. I know you're certainly not moving off any of your picks, but I don't know enough to go writing off Bryce Young entirely. But personally, I would probably go and shop him and see if you can get anything for him, anything worth it. There's nothing. You're not going to get anything close to what you spent, right? Because they drafted him 101. But, I mean, he's an expensive backup to hold on to. I'll tell you that much. So, I mean, the Carolina Panthers are obviously packing it in for the season. Like, you're done. You're cooked. You're going to lose to the Broncos. You're probably going to lose to the Saints. You're going to lose to the Giants. You're going to lose to the Chiefs. You're going to lose to the Bucs with or without their receivers. You're going to lose to the Eagles. You're going to lose to the Cowboys. You're going to lose to the Cardinals. You're going to lose to the Bucs again, and you're going to lose to the Falcons. So you might not win another game all year. I'd be surprised if they find a way to win 5 games total, So I think they're just absolutely cooked. Their receivers are bad. Their running backs are bad. Their O-line's not good. Their defense isn't good. Their coach isn't good. They're just cooked. They're going to be the new Detroit Lions of this next generation, I think. They're going to be just a winless franchise for years and years and years and years and years. So, sorry, Carolina fans.
It's a bold prediction.
Sorry, Panther fans. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Unless you're unless you get the 101 this year and you draft another quarterback, Shedeur Sanders or whoever, who's it dude? What's Quinn Ewers, whoever the quarterback is in college football this year that you want. And you can say who you think it should be, but with the Panthers, you never know, right? Because Bryce Young over CJ, and anyway, just hope and pray. Hope and pray someone wants to overpay for your first this year, or that you land the guy, because it's in God's hands now, and I don't know that God likes the Panthers, to be honest, after seeing what they've been through this season. What you got for me next?
I mean, we've already talked about the 2 other major wide receiver trades, so might as well bring up the rear with Amari Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who do you think won out of those 3 those 3 teams and those 3 offenses? Like, who got the biggest addition, the biggest help?
Oh, man. Oh, wow. That one's tough, because I think the Bills got the biggest addition and the biggest help because they didn't have another receiver like that, right? And Josh, we've seen Patrick able to get it done without receivers of notoriety, and Josh has not been able to get it done with one of the top 10 receivers in the league when he had him, Stephon Diggs. So I think Josh got the most help in the sense that it was the most needed. I think Davante Adams is still the best receiver of those 3 to date. But again, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a good NFL quarterback anymore. And a lot of that is just because of the person that he is and his leadership style and his qualities as a locker room presence guy, as a guy in the locker room. He just hasn't brought any good attention in the media to his team, to himself. He has no accountability. He only blames others. So I feel bad for Garrett Wilson. I really like him as a player, not just because I have him in fantasy, but because I think he's an awesome receiver, despite him getting hit right in the chest and just handing the ball to the other team for an interception, basically. That sucked. That sucked as a fantasy manager. But, yeah, man, the Jets got the best receiver. I think the Bills got the most needed help.
That's fair.
I would say.
Okay. Moving on to Cleveland.
Okay.
Jameis Winston's getting the start.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere, or is their season just going down the drain?
Cleveland, you are also cooked. Yeah. Because your defense doesn't look like the Cleveland Browns defense of last year either. I mean, defensively, your rankings aren't even, like, you're not NFL defensive rankings 2024. Thank you, NFL.com. I need to pay for Pro Football Focus. That would be a great tool for me. Yards allowed. Yeah, like, they're not a bottom defense anymore, but they're not even a top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're like middle of the pack. They're 14, 15, so they're very average on defense, and their offense is terrible. And they have zero offensive weapons now outside of Nick Chubb, who just came back from that knee injury and still hasn't played like a full game and might not all year and might never be the same again. So the Browns are maybe more cooked than the Panthers this year. But they at least have hope in the sense that their defense can be good, especially with a game breaker like Myles Garrett. I don't know, though. I don't know. Jameis Winston ain't the answer, I'll tell you that. But you can't keep starting Deshaun Watson. Deshaun's just done, man. He's awful now. Aaron Rodgers might not be a good quarterback anymore, guys, and you might hate that I say that. But I think we can all agree that Deshaun Watson is a fucking terrible quarterback now. Pardon my language there. But anyway, what you got next? I don't want to talk about the Browns any longer.
Too late. But the way too early 2025 draft, the Patriots, if everything stays how it is exactly right now, like I said, way too early.
Yeah.
Patriots would have the 101, Browns would have the 102, and the Panthers would have the 103.
Okay.
If you're the GM of each of those teams, not necessarily who do you pick, but how do you benefit your team the most from being in that draft spot?
Okay. So, one, next year, I need to watch way more college football. I've started to pay attention a little more this year, but I haven't watched it enough. But I need to in order to be sharper on these kinds of takes. So I'm not going to name too many specific players in terms of who I would target or what I would try to do, but I will name positional needs, scheme needs, and if I think I would sell the pick or not. So for the 101, starting off with the Patriots, you don't need a quarterback, I don't think. Drake May looks fine, especially give him more time to develop, give him some real receivers. That's kind of where I'm going with this. I think the Patriots need to draft some weapons. I don't want to see them commit to, especially because in this league today, it doesn't work. Unless you're Mike Tomlin, apparently, but even he still doesn't get it done in the playoffs. Do not try and go surround your franchise quarterback, Drake May, with elite defensive pieces. We're going to go draft the next, 85 Bears defense. We're going to go draft the next Ray Lewis. Don't. Go get him a fucking weapon, please. Preferably a receiving weapon. Don't go get the next ground and pound running back unless it's, Derrick Henry or something. Which we probably don't ever have again, by the way. But if you're the Patriots, you got to go get a receiver. You might be able to down tier even, especially depending on who's at the 101 and how much you reveal your own cards in your own hand this year in terms of what you're going to be looking for, on how much you like Drake May. You could play it off as you don't really like him a lot this year. You're not too sure on him. You might hang on to that pick for a quarterback, and then another buyer, say, I don't know, the Carolina Panthers, want to buy that pick from you, jump up, they give you their first, so a first-round pick swap, and then you get an additional sixth-round pick, fifth-round pick, something, or a pick next year. That's probably the route I'd go if I'm the Patriots. I'd try and move off that for that 101 and down tier, go get a receiver I like and get some extra picks. The Browns at 102, you definitely need a quarterback. So I would be looking to buy the Patriots pick and or make sure that they're not taking your guy, and you put one person in the call room on draft night, just one trustworthy person who's not going to last minute try and make some savvy, sharp, cute decision on who they draft and, we're going to reach a little and take the... Nope. One guy capable of following directions and understands the assignment of call quarterback A and say, welcome to Cleveland, dude. Okay? Go get a quarterback, Cleveland. And if you don't, and you think that Deshaun's going to come back next year and have it figured out, well, I'm going to have to put my best friend Pat on suicide watch because he rides and dies by the Cleveland Browns, and I really like Pat. So for Pat's sake, please, God, go draft a quarterback. And finally, the Carolina Panthers at 103. Again, I don't know enough, but it feels like the undersized quarterback that is Bryce Young isn't going to get it done long term. I mean, if you were already ready to take away his starting spot this year again after doing it last year, I just figure it out and figure it out before the end of the season, because I don't know what you should do with the pick. If you're going to keep Bryce Young, you obviously use the pick on the best receiver available and hope that him and Xavier Legette can turn into something. But because right now, Xavier Legette has not been doing a thing for you guys, which we didn't expect or demand a lot of the rookie to begin with, especially as a later round pick. But it's just a first-round rookie pick. He's a first-round receiver. You want him to kind of do something, right? So, I don't know. Temper the expectations, but don't get rid of them. And then just, if you're not going to draft a receiver there, I don't know. Sell the pick for more future picks and hope that you're just bad and you can keep piling up future picks, and one day you just draft the greatest rookie class ever. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do if you're the Carolina Panthers. I don't. And this is, again, why I need to start paying a little more attention to college football and learning a little bit more about how draft picks work and how contracts work, so that I can understand trade talk a little bit better, and so that I can come up with some trade scenarios, hypotheticals myself a little bit better. But yeah, the Panthers just feel hopeless. The Browns, you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. And the Patriots need weapons. So in a nutshell, that's my answer. Wow, that was a long ramble, I feel like. I don't know what we're at time-wise either, but I feel like we're flying through this show, so I love it. You got another question for me over there?
Yeah, I got one more.
Let's hear it. Let's give the people what they want.
The NFC North is obviously the clear number one in the division rankings.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, who do you think's the second best?
Okay, let's go here. Let's go look at them. NFL.
And there's some follow-up questions to this as well.
Division rankings. So, off the top of my head, I still want to say the AFC North, just because you do have Lamar and Joe Burrow, and you have the 5-2 Steelers with Mike Tomlin at the helm. That's never an easy division to win or to go up against. And with the Bills being the only good team left in the AFC East, the Chiefs still the only good team in the AFC West, And the Texans also the only good team in the AFC South. You just can't put any of the other AFC conferences at the top. However, I mean, if the Seahawks do turn out to be legit, because I'm not sold on them at 4-3, even though they are leading the West, that could also be a tough division. Because I'm not out on the Rams. I don't know that the Rams are great this year. Matter of fact, I know that they aren't. But the Niners are the Niners. Okay, and CMC's coming back eventually. So the Niners are the Niners. You never want to see them on any given week. And if the Seahawks are that's a tough one too. But for now, I'm going to have to go with the AFC North. NFC North and AFC North. The North just rules right now. Yeah, AFC North, and it's not close, actually. They're the only other division that has two teams with a winning record outside of the NFC North and the NFC South, but you can't put the NFC South up there with the Falcons and the Bucks, both at 4-3, and then the Saints and the Panthers, and that's just not a hard division. So yeah, it's the AFC North with the Ravens and Steelers both at 5-2, Bengals at 3-4, and then you got the Browns at 1-6.
Then who's your worst?
My worst division?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a tough one.
It's got to be an AFC conference. The Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. Dolphins, Jets have both only won 2 games. Dolphins are 2-4 because of the bye. Jets are 2-5. Patriots are 1-6. The AFC South is not good either. Man, my worst division. This is tough. The Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders really bring the West down, but the Chiefs bring them up so much. I feel like the Bills bring the East up a lot as well. Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. Might be wow. It might be the NFC South. Because the Saints, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Falcons, with the injuries to the Bucks now too. Ay.
Based on the numbers that I put together,
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if this would be correct, but I came up with the NFC South being the worst.
NFC South being the worst. I mean, the
By a
Panthers
single point.
really hurts you. The Saints doesn't help you at all. The injuries to the Bucks really bring them down too. So, I mean, the Bucks are basically lifeless at this point now, sitting at 4-3, which is disheartening because they were in a position that they still could win their division. Still could too. Just aren't going to. And the Falcons aren't. I don't know if they're a top 13 team this year. So yeah, it's probably the NFC South. I was between them and the AFC East, just given the injuries to the Dolphins, how I feel about the Jets, and we obviously know the Patriots are the same as the Panthers, right? They're the AFC version of the Panthers. So yeah, I'm good with the NFC South. I like your pick there. I'll ride that. I'll buy that.
Like I said, it was a super close race. Like, based on the numbers that I put together.
How did you crunch those numbers? What did you?
Okay, it's a pretty long process.
Okay.
So I put the power rankings in from 1 to 32.
Okay.
Then I ranked them by division.
Okay.
And so, like, AFC East was 1 was the Bills, 2 was the Dolphins, et cetera, et cetera. And then you put the power ranking next to that, add each division's power ranking together. So if you add the NFC North, you get Lions at 3, Vikings at 4, Packers at 6, Bears at 11, 24 points.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So then that'll be your total points ranking. So the lower your points, the better team you are. The higher your points, the worse division you are.
Yep.
So the NFC South was 84, AFC East was 83, and AFC South was 82. So it was a pretty close 3-team race.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, the only team in the NFC South that's helping the South's case is the Falcons right now, and the Bucks. Obviously, if they're healthy, because they can go put up 51 points on a team, but the Bucks just got smashed by injuries. So I mean, the South, you guys are cooked. Any other follow-up questions for that one?
That's all I got.
All right, is that all you got for the night?
Yeah.
Dude, clean show. About to get out of here. Reminder once again to like and subscribe, and please share the video. Please share the channel. Send it to everybody you love. Send it to everybody you hate. I don't care.